I have been a lover of games practically my entire life, not just because they're fun or the challenges that I face in them, but also because some of the games I play have scary stories attached to them, and that is what this video is about. So here it is, the top 10 video game creepypastas. Number 1. Mario. Mario was a version of the game Super Mario World. The strangeness of the game started from the title screen. On the title screen, the words Super and World were missing. As the players started to play, the gamer had noticed that the bright colors that the Mario franchise is known for has been dulled down. They thought nothing of it. However, they soon realized that there were no enemies and they were unable to collect the golden Yoshi coins. The player would hit blocks in the game that would give the player helpful advice. However, the player only got hateful messages such as, "I hate you," and "Hooray! Thank you for rescuing me. My name is Yoshi. On my way to rescuing my friends, Mario trapped me in that egg." The final level saw Mario on a stone brick path and a black background. As the player made his way to the right, he came to a dead end, but he pressed up against it and went right through the wall to the next screen containing only a pit. The player jumped in, and at the bottom he found a pipe, so he decided to enter it, but unlike the screen transition as it always did, it just stayed on that screen, insinuating that Mario had died. Number 2. Pokemon Buried Alive. In Lavender Town resides a tower that is a Pokemon graveyard known simply as Pokemon Tower. Normally at the top of this tower was the antagonist group known as Team Rocket. However, one person had a very different encounter, the Pokemon Tower secret boss, Buried Alive. The sprite for this boss was a zombie crawling up from the ground, and he had 4 Pokemon in his inventory: a Muck, a Gengar, and 2 creatures that were not Pokemon, simply called White Hands. This match was made difficult because all the Pokemon that Buried Alive had were very high leveled. If you were defeated by this boss, a screen would appear showing the zombie eating the player and a text box simply saying, "Game over." Number 3. Pokemon Creepy Black. A gamer came into possession of a bootleg version of the original Pokemon games known as Pokemon Black. Not the Generation 5 game, but an altered version of the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. The player started playing the game. It started off like it usually does. He got to name the character, the rival, and got to choose his starting Pokemon. However, along with the Pokemon he chose, he noticed he got a second Pokemon named Ghost. He found out that the only move he had was Curse, a move that was not present in the first generation games. When the player was in a training battle, the opposing Pokemon could not attack Ghost because they were too scared. And when he used Ghost's only move, Curse, the screen would go black. The player heard a slower version of the Pokemon's cry. The screen would pop up, and the Pokemon was gone. And up the upper right, where the rival's Pokeballs are, it was showed 1 less, insinuating that the player had killed the Pokemon. The player tried to deposit Ghost into the PC, but for some reason he was unable to. The player continued on his journey until he eventually defeated the Elite Four and the rival for the final time. And then a screen popped up saying many years later. The player was then teleported to a graveyard, and he was an old man. The player was confronted by all the people he had cursed along his journey. And after he got done with his rival, he was confronted by Ghost itself. He was attacked until his HP hit 0 and was killed. His saved data was deleted. Number 4. Giygas Abortion. Earthbound was a popular RPG or role-playing game a long time ago. It was about a kid named Ness growing up while dark things were happening around him, such as cults and police brutality. However, the darkest event that would happen in the Earthbound game would be the final battle against the boss, Giygas. And the only way to defeat him was to go back in time to when he was in his most vulnerable form. In the moments leading up to the final battle, the player and the party were going along the path that looked like a cervix. And the boss screen itself looked really creepy. However, the negative area or the dark spots of the boss screen would be that of a fetus. Number 5. Sonic EXE. Someone downloaded a PC version of Sonic the Hedgehog game from 1991. The player quickly learned that this was no ordinary game when the title screen showed that Sonic had black and red eyes, and the copyright note Sega 1991 turned into Sega 666. The player picked his file, and he got to choose between 3 characters: Tails, Knuckles, and as a surprise to the player, Dr. Robotnik. The player then chose Tails, and he started on Hill Act 1. As he ran right, Tails started seeing dead animals on the track, and as he continued down the path, his face seemed sadder, scared, until he went up a hill and found Sonic. And then he seemed happy, and he started to talk to Sonic, but Sonic wasn't responding. The player seemed uneasy. He freaked out because he knew something was wrong. And it became worse for the player as Tails got closer to Sonic. Sonic turned around, and Sonic's eyes were black and red, just like the title screen. The player was then teleported to Angel Island, and he, still playing as Tails, had to run from a flying zombie Sonic, only to eventually be killed by Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 6. Fallout 3 predicts the future. In the 3rd installment of the Fallout series, if you kill a specific radio DJ, eventually another person will take over the radio station and start saying a series of numbers. Many players claim that these numbers mentioned can be put together in dates that accurately predicted 2 events. One event is the death of actor Gary Coleman, and the other event was the Gulf of Mexico BP oil spill. Number 7. HEROBRINE. Many players of the ever-popular game Minecraft have reported to finding man-made structures that they did not build themselves, as well as seeing a player whose character model or skin was that of the default character Steve. However, unlike Steve, he didn't have any eyes. Those who have encountered this character, HEROBRINE, believe that it is the spirit of Notch's brother roaming the game forever. When asked about it, Notch has said that he is no longer with us, and many of the game's updates state that HEROBRINE has been removed. Number 8. SLENDERMAN. Slender is a figure described as a tall, thin man in a suit with no face. Some interpretations of him, however, show him with tentacles. He is known to stalk his prey through what seems to be teleportation. Slender has been known to abduct children, which is why many pictures of him outside of his games show him with children. The sheer creepy atmosphere that surrounds him, he has sprouted many games based off of him, such as Slender the Nine Pages. Number 9. Polybius. Polybius was a popular arcade game that was around in the 1980s. Many people who have played the game have reported insomnia, amnesia, nightmares, and night terrors, and in some cases had led to many suicides. Some occasions, people have reported seeing men in suits messing with the cabinets, probably collecting the data from the machines, leading to the theory that that game was created by the government. And number 10, Ben Drowned. A kid had come into possession of a Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask cartridge that already had a saved file on it called Ben. As he started playing the game, he could already tell that the game was off compared to how he remembered it. The player noticed that the in-game text would pop up displaying incorrectly. The game's graphics and other textures were missing. All the normal characters were nowhere to be found, and the music was playing backwards. At some points in the game, text boxes would refer to Ben or say something the game normally doesn't say, such as, "You shouldn't have done that." Ben is getting lonely, and you've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Well, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share this video on Twitter or Facebook. All support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to watch more of my upcoming videos, please hit the subscribe button below. And I plan on uploading 2 more videos this year, one in November and one in December. And then starting in 2015, I plan on putting up 1 video a week. So, thank you very much and have a safe and fun Halloween this year, and I will see